Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about water. In this session, we are going to say about the purification of water. Water might be polluted in different manners. Then how to purify that water we are going to see here. Water is called universal solvent. It practically dissolves anything and everything in it. It is another matter that certain substances dissolve it completely and very fast, and some other substances they dissolve very slowly, and they may take years and centuries of time also for dissolving. So that depends upon the nature of the substance, but many substances they dissolve into water. Because of this reason, water is called universal solvent. If it is exposed to air, it dissolves a little of oxygen and carbon dioxide gases into it. It dissolves very small amount of containers also in which it is kept. So it dissolves many things into it. Almost all the substances they dissolve into water, but some substances they dissolve very fastly and to a large extent, and some other substances they dissolve very slowly, which may take years and decades, and they may dissolve very small quantity. So this water, if it is kept in the open, then that water dissolves certain gases also into it, like oxygen, nitrogen to a little extent. And this water can dissolve carbon dioxide gas to a large extent. And even this water can dissolve very small amounts of the containers in which it is kept also. Thus, to prepare perfectly pure water, it is not possible. Actually, to say it is impossible, but very difficult. However, it's not impossible, but it is difficult. However, for all practical purposes, water free from dissolved impurities and pure enough for accurate chemical work can be obtained by distillation process. So the preparation of pure water, or the purest form of water, which is used in medical purposes and in industrial works, that is called distilled water. The purest form of water can be prepared by distillation process. So methods of purification, let us see here. How water is made pure. Treatment of wastewater involves physical, chemical and biological processes which remove chemical and biological matter that contaminates water. So if these all matters are removed from the water, then water becomes pure enough. So this removal of these biological and chemical materials can be done by different processes like physical methods, chemical methods, and even biological processes are also used in the purification of water. One of them is wastewater. First of all, it is passed through bar screens. So in the treatment of water or in the methods of purification of water, first of all, that wastewater is collected is passed through bar screens. Then what happens? Large objects like rags, sticks, cans, and plastic packets, etc. These all are removed by these plastic racks. See here, this is screens. So all will be trapped here. Pure the water will go other side. So first of all, wastewater is passed through bar screens here, so that these all big objects will be trapped in this. Next, water then goes into a grit and sand removal tank. This the speed of incoming wastewater is decreased to allow sand, grit, and pebbles to settle down. So after the removal of those big objects, water is allowed to come into these tanks where grit and sand are removed. So here the speed of the water is slowed down to allow these sand, grit, pebbles all settle down so that they can be removed from the water. Then the water is then allowed to settle in a large tank which is sloped towards the middle. So after the removal of the sand and pebbles, water is allowed to come into a tank, big tank, which is having slope surface, bottom surface towards the middle. Now solids like feces settle at the bottom and are removed with the scraper, so that the solids will be removed from this. This is the sludge. A skimmer removes the floatable solids like oil, grease. So certain impurities like oil, grease, these all will be floating on the water. So these floating materials are the solids will be removed by using a skimmer. So that by removal of these all impurities, water so formed, clear water so formed is called clarified water. Okay, in this clarified water, almost all the bigger impurities are removed. Solid waste and floating waste, these all are removed. Then the water obtained is called clarified water. The sludge is transferred to a separated tank where it is decomposed by anaerobic bacteria. The biogas produced in this process can be used as fuel or can be used to produce electricity. So what is happening? The sludge is transferred into a separated tank. So the sludge is separated from the water. So from the clarified water, the sludge is separately, it is sent into different separate tankers where it is decomposed by anaerobic bacteria. Then it produces a gas which we call as biogas. So the biogas so produced in this process can be used for as a fuel or can be used to produce electricity also. And next, air is pumped into the clarified water to help anaerobic bacteria to grow properly. So this bacteria consumes human waste, food waste, soaps and other unwanted matter still remaining in clarified water. So actually in the clarified water these all are removed. If there are any still these all wastes like food waste, human waste and soaps, these all there are. So this anaerobic bacteria will remove these all. It will consume those all and so that the water will be purified. After several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge. The water is then removed from the top. So these all waste materials will be settled at the bottom as activated sludge. So the pure water from the top it will be removed. The activated sludge is about 97% water. Remaining are impurities. The water is removed by sand drying beds or machines. Dried sludge is used as manure, returning organic matter and nutrients to the soils. What happened? So this activated sludge is containing around 97% water. The water is removed by the sand drying beds or machines also they use for separation of this water. Then the sludge which is separated there will be dried and used as manure which returns the organic matter and nutrients to the soil. The treated water has a very low level of organic material and suspended matter. It is discharged into sea, a river or into the ground also to increase the groundwater level. Nature cleans it further. Sometimes it may be necessary to disinfect water with chemicals like chlorine and ozone before releasing it to the distribution system, that is rivers or groundwater or for domestic purposes. Before distributing to these terminals, this water will be treated with certain chemicals like chlorine and ozone to kill the bacteria and infections present in that, to disinfect it, to kill the germs and bacteria present in the water. Still they use chlorine gas or ozone gas that will pump it into this water, so that water will be purified from this all bacteria and germs. It will be disinfected, then only it will pass it into different purposes. So this water is now supplied to various places such as homes, factories, industries by through the pipelines. At homes, You often treat water before using it for drinking on various methods by using various methods adopted in homes for making water fit for drinking. Isn't it? You also might have observed this. Often in our homes, water will be boiled before drinking it. So this is also one of the purification method. What happens by boiling the water, the germs and the bacteria present in the water will be killed by boiling it. So that is one method for purification of water at homes. And even the water will be filtered by using different sievers and filters. That is also one of the purification technique for water. So in this way, various methods are adapted in our homes for making water fit for drinking. Now let us see about natural water and treated water. Natural water means the water which occurs in the nature in free state. It is called natural water. And one more kind of water, we can say examples for this natural water as river water, well water, rainwater, spring water, etc. These all are the water, different forms of water which are existing in the nature naturally. So these all are called natural water. And one more kind is treated water. So the natural water that obtained from the different sources will be treated by some man-made processes and which can be used for some purposes is called treated water. So water before using it in different purposes will be treated with certain processes to remove the unwanted materials present in the water. So the formed water by the treatment is called treated water. Okay, naturally existing water is called natural water. The from the natural bodies, the collected water will be undergone certain treatments, certain purification methods for usage in the different purposes. That water is called treated water. This treated water is of two types. One it is distilled water, another one is potable water. Okay, what are these two? Let us see here. First, let us go through distilled water. Water obtained by distillation of natural water such that contains no dissolved salts or gases or any other impurities is called distilled water. So you can say distilled water is the purest form of water. Already we have come to know as purest natural existing water is rainwater, because there also before raining distillation process has been done by the nature. First water evaporates from the water bodies and it condenses and occurs rain there. By this pure water is obtained from the rain also, but in its journey to the earth again it dissolves impurities and some other gases also into it. That's another thing. So rainwater is natural occurring pure water. And next, distilled water is the purest form of water, but it is man-made. It is purified by the man. What we do in the distillation process? First, the impure sample of water is taken into a container. It is heated strongly. By heating, water evaporates and will be these vapors of water are collected into another container and they are cooled. Then it condenses to form pure water. In that way, the pure water obtained in that process, which is containing two continuous process, evaporation and condensation, is called distilled water. So this distilled water is the purest form of water which do not contain any salts or gases or any other impurities. It contains only water, that is called distilled water. The distilled water is purest form of water, we can say. It is used for preparing soluble injectables as well as qualitative analysis. In the laboratories, often it needs to take only pure water without any other chemicals dissolved in it. In those cases, they use this distilled water. Even in the medical purpose also, for making soluble injectables, for dissolving certain chemicals to inject, they use this distilled water because it does not contain any other chemicals dissolved in it. Okay, that is distilled water. Next, potable water. It is another treated water. The water suitable for drinking is called potable water. Remember, potable water is different from distilled water. Even though the purest form of water is distilled water, it is not suitable for consumption because that purest form, that is distilled water, does not contain any dissolved gases or salts in it. But the water which is suitable for drinking should contain certain amount of salts dissolved in it and even certain gases dissolved in it. That water is only suitable for drinking. Generally, the water which contains around 2 grams of salt dissolved in it per liter, like sodium chloride, that is useful for consumption. That water only is called potable water. There is a huge amount of natural water on the surface of earth, but the amount of water which can be used for human consumption and other animals is very small, isn't it? Around three-fourths of the surface is covered by water we have studied, but a large amount of water in that is in the salt water form in the oceans and rivers. Only very small quantity of water, small percentage of water is available which is fit for consumption of human and animals. 97.4% of the total water available on the surface is in the form of oceans and seas, which is not fit for drinking and for other usage. It is salty and hence unfit for human consumption or even for agricultural purposes also it is not useful. Rest of the water is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. Hence, is not available for human consumption. Out of this 3% also, almost 2% to more than 2% is present in the frozen glaciers and polar ice caps. So it is not also available for human consumption. Only 0.01% of the fresh water is available, which is fit for human usage and even for animals also. See how very rare quantity of water is available for consumption and for our other purposes. Most of the water in the form of oceans and rivers, seas, which is unfit for usage. So very small quantity of water is in freshwater form, which is fit for human use and animals. So it is very rare quantity. We have to use wisely this water. Should not waste this water. Okay. Now let us see what are the qualities for a being for water to be potable. We told the water which is fit for drinking is called potable water. So what are the qualities for this potable water? Let us see those here. Distilled water is pure water, yet it is not suitable for drinking purpose because it has a flat, insipid taste. Not only that, it does not contain any required salts dissolved in it. Required salts and gases are not dissolved in the distilled water. That is why we say even though distilled water is purest form of water, it is unfit for drinking. So now let us see the qualities of water which make it potable. One it is it must be clear and or colorless. Okay, it should be colorless and clear. It must be odorless also. If it is getting odor means we can understand it might be dissolved some impurities in it. It must be free from harmful bacteria and suspended impurities. So it should not contain any such kind of impurities in it. And even it must contain dissolved gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide as they communicate freshness to the water and give sparkling appearance to the water. So there should be small quantities of oxygen and carbon dioxide gas dissolved in the water. By the presence of these gases only, water gets that sparkliness and even water will be fresh enough. And even it should contain small quantities of salts dissolved in it. As we told, for every 1 liter of water, there should be around 2 grams of common salt dissolved in it. So then only it is said to be potable water. That's about potable water. Okay. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates and recorded videos.